Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For introduction, Sukuk is an Islamic financial certificate which is provide an investor with equity of an underlying asset. Sukuk also was broadly used by Muslim, and the most widely used is Sukuk al-Ijarah.
And now I will present about the background of Sukuk and Sukuk Ijarah. Sukuk is considered as a written document or a financial certificate that contains an equal value that portrays the undivided share in the ownership. It is also a Shariah compliant. In Islamic bond or Sukuk, the bondholder will receive the ownership of an underlying asset. The bond issuer held all the risks and any rights regarding to the underlying asset that they issued for. As for Sukuk Ijarah, Sukuk Ijarah is a sukuk that issued the asset on Ijarah or leasing contract. The seller sells the benefits of his asset to another party based on price and periodic lease rental agreement. Sukuk Ijarah consists three parties, which is the originator of the end user, the intermediary party, and the bondholder. Sukuk Ijarah is a negotiable contract that offers a high liquidity and flexibility in the form of issuance, management, and marketability.
Okay, next I will talk about Sukuk and bond. So basically, Sukuk is based on Shariah compliance, while bond is not compliant with the Islamic view of finance due to the fact that they have a fixed interest. Okay, next I will talk about Sukuk Ijarah and conventional lease. In a conventional operating lease contract, the lessee is entitled to penalize the lessee for delaying or defaulting the payment. The Ijarah contract also said the same but modified it to include the condition that the lessee can use the amounts received as penalty only for charitable causes, thereby avoiding the riba. When comparison between Ijarah and conventional operating lease contract are made with regard to the sale and leaseback condition, it is seen that in Ijarah both these transactions are allowed but separately. But in a conventional operating lease, the contract covers the sale of the asset by one company to another that in turn lets out the asset for hire to the original seller.
Then I will present about short beneficial ownership. We consider as a true ownership. Full possession require a legal title and the transition of the beneficial interest to them in the asset by sukuk. It is known that beneficial is the right by anyone to use or profit from an asset, even though he or she do not have a legal owner or any legal right towards the asset. Because of the profit or gain from the asset, beneficial owner still has the beneficial right or the beneficial interest to the asset even do not own the asset by themselves. For example, when a husband buy an asset like a house under the name of husband, at the same time the wife helps by sharing her money to cover the price of the house, the wife basically said to have the beneficial interest for the asset. And when they agree to divorce, the wife still has the right to claim a part of the house because she has the beneficial interest due to the sharing of money.
I will present about risk in Sukuk struktur. There are the number of risk models in monitoring or measuring risk to reduce risk in this Sukuk. Risk where the problem arises which is difficult to convince and motivate non-Muslim investor. Sukuk usually have difficulty where it is difficult to gain investor confidence in Shariah compliance in Sukuk. Default risk is synonymous with the probability that creditor will refuse to make payment by due date. Sukuk is also at risk where the rate of return is the same as the conventional bond interest rate. The risk of this rate of return depends on the structure of the sukuk. Then assets are one of the risks in sukuk. Assets should follow the criteria of Shariah and be able to produce attractive returns. Assets can also involve the risk of loss of asset, especially in sukuk ijarah, but may be important in the case of development.
The protective for Sukuk Ijarah, and the rights to the investor. Sukuk has been widely by corporates and government around the world as the method of financing. This problem arises in the US because the failure of Sukuk. The investor know that their money loss and decreasing. This problem creates conflict over the issue of asset ownership. As the legal owner of the properties and usufruct, the investor of Sukuk has complete control over those assets. The secured creditors, asset-backed Ijarah, Sukuk investor are classified and have full right over all the underlying asset to the issue sukuk. If sukuk lost, the holders are still unable to sell the properties. Sukuk in Malaysia is lighter compared to other jurisdictions. Clients of sukuk issued in Malaysia enjoy some protection. The resolution of the Securities Commission Shariah Advisory Council requires the principal to invest in a third-party guarantee.
For conclusion, we get to know the word sukuk are derived from word Arabic which is sak. Second, if both of the partnership hold the sukuk, that means they are the real of ownership of the properties. Third, we know that the risk in Sukuk al-Ijarah. Lastly, Sukuk holder cannot sell the properties if the Sukuk is lost. However, if the Sukuk trustee disposed to the government, the trustee need to resell his underlying asset, which is unsecured holder. That's all from us. Thank you.